share insight into the creation of their series, how they're reimagining the genre, and why stories out of the American West continue to inspire. That's Wednesday at 7 p.m. Reservations are recommended. Visit theautry.org.
In Pasadena, Vroman's Books holds its Jan Party Trivia Night, celebrating the life of Jeopardy champion and former Vroman's receptionist, Jan Littler. That's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Call 626-449-5320.
I'm Marlena Bond.
And I'm Terry Guy.
With the community calendar at 90.7 FM, KPFK Los Angeles, 98.7 Santa Barbara, 93.7 San Diego, 99.5 Ridgecrest, China Lake, and on the web at kpfk.org.
The Expansion Zone with Sonia Barrett.
Everybody's talking about consciousness. Everybody wants that eternal kiss. Everyone's saying there's more than this. Everyone wants to follow their own bliss. Talking about one love, one blood, one life in everyone, one life. Give each other. We are sisters and brothers. We sing Om.
On the Expansion Zone, we examine life and our quest to understand who and what we are and of the vastness of human potentials. We explore the making of our world from quantum physics to parapsychology, health, sociology, and philosophy, along with practical living. You are reminded of the possibilities in creating personal change. So for an hour, we'll stimulate and expand the mind.
Shanti, 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 shanti. Sing the word. Shanti, 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 shanti. It's time to wake up. Shanti, shanti, to a brighter day. Realize that shanti, shanti. Love is a word. Shanti, 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 shanti.
Well, welcome once again to another edition of The Expansion Zone with Sonia Barrett. I am Sonia Barrett, your host on this Monday. We are into the new year, of course, and I hope your New Year's is off to a great start. And whatever changes you're making, you've already started them. Of course, I like to thank Donna DeLore for our intro song, Be the Change, which, as you know, I love that song because it certainly reflects what this show is all about. Well, as we move forward, each year brings us into new levels of technology, as we can all agree to. What's next? You know, that's sort of the thinking is what's next, because we keep stepping it up. Well, the interesting thing is that we are quite adaptable despite the protests that we'll put up in the very beginning, because I always look at that. We'll protest things. We're not going to do that. We don't want to do it. And then suddenly there it is. You know, we adapt. The other factor is that new generations spring up, and the time period that they're born into becomes their normal. It is what they were introduced to in their entrance into this life. And so it is, it's that way with all of us. We all came here and life was what it was and it became our normal. And we do fight to hold on to that normal. So I find that very interesting, that we all sort of struggle to hold on to that. But somehow, ultimately, we adapt, some adapt, and maybe that's where this idea of survival of the fittest comes in. You know, it's, can you adapt in order to be here? So today's topic, with that said, is going to be the ghost in the machine versus transhumanism in the new age. And my guest is Bradley York Bartholomew. Well, Bradley York Bartholomew initially trained as a lawyer in Queensland, Australia. He subsequently came across the works of Sigmund Freud and experienced a profound realization that Freud's unconscious mind and the Hindu inner self were one and the same. From then on, he has devoted his life to tracking the inner self. After spending considerable time in an ashram in India, he wrote several articles about Hindu philosophy in the 1990s that were published in prestigious philosophical journals in India, including the Indian Philosophical Quarterly. His revelations that the Hindu Upanishads have a quantum mechanical interpretation led him back to university to formally study physics and genetics, where he made a pivotal discovery how the DNA acts as a quantum computer. This discovery has brought Hinduism into the information age. And just to add, he recently gave a lecture in Oxford in November 2017, Our Unconscious Self, a relook at Aristotle, Descartes, and the Upanishads. And he gave a lecture also in San Jose in November 2018. Of course, last year. Now we can say last year. The Ghost in the Machine versus Transhumanism in the New Age. And he has a running campaign to debunk inflated claims by leaders in the technology sector about the development of AI. Wow. So that's a whole lot going on that Bradley is involved in. So, Bradley Bartholomew, welcome to the Expansion Zone.
Yes, thank you, Sonia. It's great to be with you again.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have so much to chat about. Where do we begin?
Well, indeed, just from your introduction, two expressions attracted my notice. When you're saying, new technology, we're always looking for new technology, what's going to come next? And also the other expression that you used about the normal life, what is the normal life or something. And I think that we're in a position here to actually talk about those two concepts in terms of there really is new technology out there, and what we normally consider to be the normal life is about to have a very radical change.
Yes, I've heard that on several of your talks where you're speaking about technology and its influence on nature which has ran basically life. So that is interesting. So where would you like to start? You mentioned the spiritual machine. Yeah. Go ahead, Brad.
Well, it's just this what you said in your introduction of what's going to come next in new technology. It's true. I mean the let's call it the military-industrial scientific paradigm that runs human civilization is all about this question of new technology, and the conventional message that we're getting is, yes, technology is increasing every year, and I don't know, there's Moore's law that every 2 years or something, the amount of data that we can process doubles or something like this. The whole emphasis with our society is on this question of exponential increases of human technology. And so we've got a situation where society is continually looking for and continually expecting to hear, oh yes, now our computers are this much faster, and this we're storing this much more data. And the problem is that technology now is being, human society is being led by people that are fanatical about technological achievement. And they actually are futuristic think tanks that are around the world, in Oxford University, Cambridge University, and other prestigious universities. They're full of these people called transhumanists who really think that in the future we're all going to literally end up as machines, as cyborgs. And this is essentially the problem now that I've taken issue with. That in fact, the future of the human race as such does not have to do with us becoming machines. That's my essential message that I'm now trying to get across.
It's an important message. I mean, it absolutely is. Now, when you talk about, you refer to the spiritual machines. I mean, what does that mean? What are you saying?
Well, okay. Well, essentially, originally there was the idea of the ghost in the machine, which goes back to Descartes and his idea that our physical body is a physical machine, but there is some sort of spiritual soul that directs our physical body, that literally controls and coordinates the processes in our physical body. That was the original concept of this ghost in the machine. Then what has happened in recent years, basically, I gather, led mainly by Ray Kurzweil, who is the chief engineer at Google, that introduced this idea of the technological singularity, where he's now arguing that Descartes' original ghost in the machine will eventually end up as being literally in what we now consider to be machines, robots and computers. The new thrust with the technophiles is that what was originally considered to be the human soul, because of the advancement of human technology, is actually going to be transplanted into machines, literally.
Okay, so in other words, the machine is becoming us. Is that what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, essentially, what these think tanks that are sending out a message of, they're there, they're being paid, they've got PhDs, they're in prestigious universities, and their job is to predict the future for humanity, right? And so they're literally saying that the time is coming with this technological singularity where decaying bodily parts, even our brains, will be replaced by machines, will be replaced by computers, so we can literally live forever. And also they're talking about the time that is coming where our brain will be uploaded onto a computer, so we can enjoy a bodiless immortality. And I mean, even more than this, right now, there's at least 4 corporations in the United States that are cryonically suspending human cadavers and severed heads, and even the carcasses of beloved pets, so that when this technological singularity arrives, they can be revived and lead an immortal life as a totally rejuvenated and a youthful cyborg. It's complete fantasy stuff. It's total fantasy stuff.
In a way, what it sounds like, even though it's being seen as advancement, in a way, it has this very sort of primitive feel to it, because there's a completely different direction, which is, I think, what you're saying, that is more of an organic process that will begin to occur in extending human life. And probably we don't want to jump ahead. We want to look at some more of what you're speaking about with this idea of transhumanists. Now, I remember some years back, quite a few years ago, when I watched a video. It was on YouTube, and it was about it was the Immortality Conference. And there's one, well, the conference was really more so about, should we begin to look at giving rights to robots, because they are going to be a species living alongside us. Now, these were scientists, as you
Right.
said. Yeah, these were people that were considered, respected in their fields. So,
Right.
yeah, so that's very interesting, and that's kind of some of what you're saying.
Exactly. This is the most extraordinary thing. They're literally, it's called anthropomorphism. They're attributing to these machines human characteristics. Let me see if I can recall. There's a passage in Ray Kurzweil's book, The Age of Spiritual Machines. Just being conscious, is being spiritual, and this reflects the age of the essence of spirituality machines, derived from human speaking, derived from human thinking, but yet surpassing humans in their capacity for experience. They will believe that they are conscious, that they are spiritual. They will believe that they're having spiritual experiences. They will be convinced that these experiences are meaningful. And given the historical inclination of the human race to anthropomorphize the experiences we encounter, the phenomena we encounter, and the persuasiveness of these machines, we are likely to believe them when they say this to us. Spiritual machines based on human thinking, yet will do as their human progenitors have done. They will go to real and virtual houses of worship, meditating, praying, transcending, to connect with their spiritual dimension. This is these technophiles. This is what they really believe, that human technology will advance to the point where they're literally making conscious spiritual machines.
So you're saying, was this from Kurzweil's book that you were reading?
Yes. Okay. The age of spiritual machines.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So if that is the case in terms of them entering into these virtual house of worship and all of that, is he saying are human beings then seen as their gods? I'm trying to understand that part. How does that play into it?
The way they talk about these machines and how technology is advancing, they literally are working themselves into some sort of a state of religious ecstasy about these machines. They're literally talking about these machines as if they are gods, that at some stage we are going to build machines that are so superior, that are going to be so superior to human beings that they will be literally our gods. And this is exactly the way they think.
Oh, so you're saying, okay, so the assessment has been that that level of technology, robotics, or will go to that point, AI will move to such a stage of progression that they will surpass human beings. Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
We've heard that, and of course, we've seen it all over in Hollywood. We've seen it in the Twilight Zone. This is an age-old story if we really look back.
That's true.
It's gradually moved into our time now, but it's been about for a long time, and that's one thing that human beings fear is their own annihilation and this possibility. But you're saying not so.
Well, I'm saying not so, simply for the very reason Kurzweil's technological singularity, where human cadavers are being brought back to life, not even just cadavers, but severed heads. Severed heads are being brought back to life as completely rejuvenated and youthful cyborgs, would not only just require the most stupendous advancement in human technology and artificial intelligence, this is the ultimate eradication of death. This would require a complete knowledge of all the physical laws of the universe. in order for humans to be making machines that can actually bring cadavers back to life, and what's more, even more ridiculous, uploading the human mind onto computers would require a complete knowledge of all the physical laws of the universe. Everything would have to be known. Even the current mysteries about quantum mechanics, everything would have to be known for this to happen. And by the time humans have reached that point where they're making machines that can do this, I mean, how can these machines be smarter than us? We've already that would be the point where we already have a complete knowledge of all the physical laws of the universe. Not even God could be smarter than that. There just ain't nothing more to know after that. You see, that's the problem.
Well, how about when we say there's certain things that can't be done? They've been doing memory transfer. I mean, there's some things that have been going on in terms of, can certain aspects be converted to, to bits, these bits of information. There's certain things that have been occurring. And yes, when you mentioned a few things before, it reminded me of RoboCop.
Right. Okay. Sure. So RoboCop, basically, their mindset is somewhere like somewhere in the Matrix, where we humans are just a brain suspended in a vat with a jack at the back of the head with the base of the skull, where sensory experience is just fed into us from the external world. Or they're in the mindset of the Terminator, where evil machines have annihilated humanity with the exception of one solitary human being. So a cyborg Terminator is sent back from 2029 to kill the mother of this human being before she can have her superhuman baby, so that the evil machines can prevail. These transhumanists, which I stress, the problem is that they are running the futuristic think tanks that are really out there in staid, regular, normal universities, supposedly telling us where human life is heading. This is what these transhumanists really believe, that there is going to come a time where our technology is just going to be so stupendous that it's literally going to eradicate death, that we're going to have some sort of immortality as cyborgs.
Right.
And it's preposterous. Right. It's preposterous.
From a cyborg perspective. Well, I do agree. Yes, they are projecting, and they've always done that, what should be. What human beings should believe about reality is constantly projected, and it's been going on like that for a long time. Now, the thing that I would say, also is, even in the idea of the Matrix, what was opposed to Matrix, human beings with sort of in this pool of slime and, of whatever slime and, back of whatever neck, could also be a little symbolic of the manner in which human beings really at this point go about their lives, not noticing and realizing these projections about what they should believe and think. So I think on that level, we can really sort of see that, because most people aren't thinking about this conversation we're having, and it becomes very automatic. That's why they adapt. That's why humans adapt to certain things so easily.
Sure. Well, most people don't think about these things, but that's true, because most people, I mean, they're just bound up in their materialistic world, and they're really just more concerned with, Black Friday or Blue Monday or whatever it is when the sales are on. But the problem is that there is this thing called, basically it's the military-industrial complex, but I mean it's the military-industrial scientific complex that it is feeding this constant dialogue to us about the wonders of technology, and it's feeding this constant dialogue to us that human civilization is progressing because technology is progressing, and technology is progressing because we're building these machines becoming smarter and smarter, and then one day these machines will even surpass us. And this is this constant dialogue that we're being fed by the military-industrial complex and capitalism in general and materialism in general as some sort of, this is their way of trying to convince us that, A, human civilization is progressing, and B, that human life in this civilization is meaningful because, hey, look at us, we're so incredibly smart, and we're building these incredible machines, and hey, look, we've just made a new AI computer that can beat the world champion chess player, and hey, look, we just made a new computer that can build, do something else that much better than human beings. We're getting fed this dialogue all the time about how technology, what these technophiles are doing, is better than just simple, plain, organic life. That's the situation we're in right now.
And it's subtle. And that's the thing, Brad. What you're saying is when you said that this is being fed to us all the time, it's the subtle manner in which it's being done because, as you said, as different kinds of technologies are introduced and these whatever stories about AI or the advancement of AI or robots, and we're given the latest technology that allows us to not have to think quite so hard. I think those are probably the ways in which the information is being transmitted without anybody having to say that that's what's going on.
Sure.
So,
well, you see, the thing is, essentially, it's all, everything, the whole of human civilization is about money. And all these universities, all these technical corporations and whatever else producing their new technology, it's all about money. So they're all, essentially, they're all about marketing the progresses in their technology in order to get in the university situation, to get grants, to get sponsorship, whatever. Virtually that's the way they make a living. So they're pushing this whole idea of advancement of technology simply as a means for them to enrich themselves. But they're pushing it in such a way as they're trying to project into the public consciousness this notion that technology itself is some sort of answer to life. The meaning of life is to be found in technological advancement.
right.
And they're winning, of course. They're winning. I mean, you just have to look at what's happening now these days with the mobile phones, and literally, everybody now is just glued to their
Right.
mobile phone.
Well, everybody is sort of also in a state of, there's a lot of people that love gadgets, which is what I was saying before, that the message doesn't have to be delivered in a statement, but simply in providing tools like children. People love their toys. We love toys.
That's right.
It's the newest gadget that does something that you didn't think was possible, and here it is. You've got it in your hands. Let me just let my audience know who we're chatting with and where we're coming from. We're coming from KPFK 90.7 FM in Southern California, 98.7 in Santa Barbara, 93.7 in San Diego, 99.5 in Ridgecrest and China Lake, and streaming live at kpfk.org. And you are listening to The Expansion Zone with Sonia Barrett. I am Sonia, and my guest today is Bradley Bartholomew, and we are speaking about the ghost in the machine versus transhumanism in the new age. Now, I'd like to move into speaking about something that is taking us now into true organic level of what is possible. And you talk about the placenta, and you talk about this new organic method that we really will be using to really expand our lifespan, not just by machines. So can we start chatting about that?
Well, right. Well, just let me make one more point about this whole concept of artificial intelligence. The message that we're being fed by the technology sector and by these technophiles is that the artificial intelligence that they're creating is going to one day surpass human intelligence, right? That is their whole point is they're just caught up themselves in their own majesty of their own intelligence or something, and they really do think that they're creating a form of intelligence, an artificial intelligence that will be superior to human intelligence. And the reasoning that they give is simply that they're building computers that are faster and faster and processing more and more data, right? But the whole point about human intelligence is that human beings can have intelligent thoughts that just appear in their brain. They never come as a result of churning through masses of data. Human beings can have intelligent thoughts that just appear in their brain without any pre-processing of data at all. And also, dreams seem to have something to do with human intelligence. We can dream about something and then have a few related thoughts about it while we're still half asleep, and then miraculously an intelligent thought will just crystallize in our brain. So if they want to make computers that are potentially as smart as us, not smarter than us, they'll need to make computers that can sleep and dream. And also human beings...
That's a good point.
Human beings can make an intelligent statement that comes in a split second with zero forethought. If they want to make machines that are potentially as smart as us, not smarter than us, they'll need to make machines that are capable of witty conversation. This whole idea that they've got, that because they're making machines that can churn through data faster and faster and churn through more and more data, it's got nothing to do with essential human intelligence. And also, what I like is a quote by Nietzsche about what human inspiration, what intelligent inspiration meant to Nietzsche. He said, has anyone at the end of the 19th century a complete complexion of what poets of strong ages called inspiration? If not, I will describe it. If anyone has the slightest residue of superstition left in one can hardly lay aside the idea that one is merely incarnation, merely mouthpiece, merely medium of overpowering forces. The concept of how does it go? Just not coming to me now. But I mean, the true spirit of human inspiration, it just comes to us. It comes to us. Nietzsche says it just comes to you, and you've got no power over it. You've got no means to control it.
There's this flow that happens.
Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's got essential human inspiration has got nothing to do with just processing, the speed of processing of masses of data. And this is what these the technophiles don't quite seem to understand. And that's just the point I wanted to make there. Okay,
Right.
Now so move on to...
Well, just 1 second. You also spoke about, because I just thought about it, can we just touch on that for a moment? You had mentioned, not in this conversation, but on, I think, one of your videos, you mentioned the idea of technology overriding nature, which I thought was also very fascinating. It seemed like you're saying to a point where nature is no longer needed per se, but technology is now making all the decisions that nature would have made. I believe that was the premise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in many ways, human technologies and machines that they've been able to change and modify nature, even contain natural events. And so these transhumanists, they argue from this that one day human technology will transcend nature altogether. This is what they really believe. They really believe that they're going to come to a point where human technology will literally transcend nature. But what they don't seem to realize with that statement, how ridiculous it is, because in order to transcend nature, they have got to know all the physical laws of the universe, not just not just the physical laws of Newton's laws of acceleration, whatever, here on Earth. I mean, they have to know about literally where the whole universe came from, how it started, everything about it. They have to know everything. In order to transcend nature, they have to know everything about nature, and that is impossible. Even if it is possible eventually that human beings will know everything about nature, there's no way that they can make machines that is going to go beyond that, because there is nothing beyond that. Once you know all the physical laws of the universe, that's it. You've done it.
Well, and maybe at that point, if they suddenly knew everything about nature, there would be
They
nothing.
get so obsessed. They think that they're so brilliant. They get so obsessed with this. They think that that there's no end to knowledge. But obviously knowledge. Must be an end to knowledge.
Right.
In the human context, there is an end to knowledge.
As it pertains to human beings, as it pertains to our construct.
To the physical world. As it pertains to the physical world, which is what technology is all about. Technology is about the physical world. Technology is about materialism. And so materialism, technology, can only advance to the point where they know everything about the physical world. And I mean, obviously, we all believe, as human beings, we all believe that there is a spiritual world, and there are levels of life above the material. But but technology can never go there, because technology requires only the physical.
Right.
The physical world.
And we're talking about technology. I always like to make that clarification because, yes, the word technology does get trapped here in our minuscule version of technology. I refer to everything else beyond this material world in terms of our technology as some divine cosmic technology. So there's two different levels of potentials that we're looking at. And I think that human beings do try to mimic, which is what you're saying. They try to mimic this version of creation, of what human beings are. And I think overall, which is why we're not you and I aren't, but why they're attempting to make robots and, AI and a whole other life form. I think that's basically what it is. But all right, well, we can defend it. Go ahead.
But the thing is, the way they think You know, they're doing it every day. They're obsessed with it. They live, breathe, and sleep.
Drink, eat, everything.
This technology. It's their whole life, and they're obsessed with it, and it becomes their religion. There, you've got it in a nutshell. They have turned technology, the pursuit of technology, the progress in technology, is their religion, and they really believe that they really believe that that they're going to make a machine that essentially is going to be so superior to human beings that it will become God. You know, they really believe that they're going to make a technological God. That seems to be what they're, because they're just caught up in this hype of trying to get some meaning into their own lives, I guess. And this is what they've found to be the way. The meaning for them is to make a spiritual machine. I actually, come to think of it, that movie, Ex Machina or whatever. Remember that?
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. I just saw it. I saw it just recently on a in-flight entertainment. It's just classical in terms of the way they think that, you know, there are these beautiful robotic creatures that you know, their master is built, and then these beautiful robotic creatures turn on their master, and eventually, I mean, it's just a classic case of human beings, literally it's anthropomorphism. They're simply projecting onto these machines human emotions. It's just as simple as that.
Yes, it's like Pinocchio turning on Geppetto.
Well, exactly, and I mean, part of my talk, I came up with 7 laws of AI, and the last and the seventh law of AI is human beings do not have and never will have Schopenhauer's will. And without Schopenhauer's will, these machines ain't going to annihilate or subjugate nobody. This whole idea that you go on to TED Talks, you will see at least half a dozen TED Talks there, including Nick Bostrom, who is the head of Oxford University's Future for Humanity, talking about how, yes, one day the machines are going to be so smart that they're going to annihilate us. They're going to subjugate us.
Yes,
a machine is a machine. No matter how smart,
no matter how you slice it up.
This whole idea of annihilating and subjugating and killing this is purely something that
it's a lot of fear.
This is something that only humans have. It has something that only humans have because of their own, because of human existence and because of, the source of desire. What is the source of desire in human beings? Machines do not have this. They will never have it. And so machines will never want to copulate with another machine. A machine will never want to kill another machine.
Well,
they just do not have human desire.
Right, but everything sort of comes down to programming too. So who's the programmer? But Brad, I really want to make sure, because we still have a few minutes left, but I want to be sure that you talk about this cryopreserve the placenta.
Oh, okay.
Got to talk about that, because we've talked about that other part of it. Now we need to let people know.
That's right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So this is the whole point. This becomes the whole point of my new crusade. The fact is, through advances in genetics and biology, there will come a time where we will be able to extend our lifespan. We will be able to increase our level of intelligence. But it's going to come through biotechnology. It's going to become through genetics. I gave that talk in San Jose about cryopreserving the placenta before, about a month, early November, and it was about a month before. It's now emerged that the first genetically modified baby has actually been born. So there is this whole thing about germline editing. In the future, we will be able to actually edit. They're saying now that we will be able to edit out potential diseases before the baby is even born. Stem cell therapy has been around for decades. Normally, these stem cells are taken from bone marrow or from umbilical cord blood, and they're injected into patients suffering from certain maladies, and these stem cells can then differentiate into various tissues and replace and restore degenerate tissue in the patient, right? But these up till now, these stem cell therapy has been it's got its limitations. These stem cells can't differentiate into all tissues. They can't be used to regenerate new organs in the body, and often these stem cells are killed by the recipient's immune system. Currently, with stem cells, they can't be used to generate new neurons, and they can't be, or connections between the neurons in the brain. Also, currently, the stem cells, they're not effective. The effectiveness of the stem cells decrease with the age of the donor. But if stem cells taken from the placenta are extremely young and they maintain their maximum effectiveness, and these stem cells, if the placenta would be cryonically suspended at birth, so these stem cells literally never age. This new technology that's only just in its infancy, there's still insurmountable problems with it. But if the placenta is cryopreserved at birth, then in the future they will use this germline technology to do stem cell therapy on the recipient's own tissue, and then it can be injected back into the body, and without any risk of being rejected by the immune system. The placenta is also a major endocrine gland that secretes hormones before the actual development of the embryo brain. So in the future, they'll be able to do stem cell therapy taking for stem cells from the recipient's placenta that will literally be able to regenerate new neurons and new connections between the neurons in the brain. Also, the placenta is, throughout gestation, the placenta is responsible for the growth, development, and nutrition of the entire fetal body. And so stem cell therapy in the future, if they do it based on stem cells from the placenta, they'll literally not only be able to regenerate new internal organs in the body, but they'll be able to regenerate external features of the body as well, like skin, teeth, and hair, even limbs. In terms of biotechnology, in terms of advances in genetics based on stem cell therapy using the stem cells from your own placenta, there is no limit actually to where this could go. I mean, other species now have these regenerative processes. Snakes slough off their skin, sharks grow new teeth, lizards regrow the tail, spiders regrow their legs, the flatworm regrows its own head. These processes these are actual processes in the DNA, and it's just a matter of finding out how these processes work. And in the future, you'll be able to do stem cell therapy where literally these regenerative processes will be able become as a matter of common and natural matter for anyone that's had their placenta cryopreserved.
Oh, that's really awesome to hear. I mean, and I know you're running a campaign to get American Medical Association to make formal announcements that all expecting mothers should cryopreserve the placenta. I think that's phenomenal. That would be absolutely amazing, because you're right. Biotechnology, the body is equipped. It has been designed to regenerate itself, which is what it does. I mean, cells are replaced all the time. There's all parts of our bodies are being rejuvenated when we get a cut. There's so much to what you just said that lets us know that all of these things are possible if we look in that direction, as opposed to all of this, the other external stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when this first genetically modified baby was born, there was outrage, because there was outrage from the scientific community, even though they're developing all this technology. The really sensational thing about this, that this was actually done on the embryo before it was born, right? And then it gets born.
He edited out the HIV.
That's right. That's right.
You're right. The medical community was very upset because they weren't told about it.
That's right. But you see, the thing is, if you cryopreserve the placenta, this is not now a case of sort of doing this and without knowing what's going to happen. This is a case where it's a no-brainer to cryopreserve the placenta. I mean,
we have a minute. We have less than a minute left.
Oh, okay. Well, the bottom line is it's a no-brainer, because, I mean, right now these placentas are just discarded by hospitals. But they will be able to do this germline gene editing on the placenta in the future, which will literally be able to extend our lifestyle and regenerate all our organs. It's a no-brainer that they should do this.
Absolutely. What's your website, Brad?
www.spiritualgenome.com.
Now, if you're doing anything else, will people be able to find you there? And what about social media?
The social media, I'm at Spiritual Genome on Twitter and at Spiritual Genome on Facebook as well, yeah.
Join the conversation with him there, absolutely. This is fascinating information, and definitely I have to have you back, because we could talk about this second part of this, and then there's so many things that you do discuss. So thank you so much, Brad, for being on the show. And thanks to the listening audience. Yes, I know we're out of time. Listening audience, thanks to our engineer, D'Angelo Jones. Please visit theexpansionzone.com for the replay of the show, our archive, and all of the other wonderful stuff. Like us on Facebook and Twitter. And to find out more about me, visit therealsoniabarrett.com. And as always, remember to live life to its fullest and question everything. Until next time, see you then.
Today, everybody's talking about consciousness. Everybody wants that eternal kiss. Everyone's saying there's more than this. Everyone wants to follow their own bliss. Talking about one love, one blood, one life in everyone. One life to give each other. We are sisters and brothers. We sing Om Shanti 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 Shanti. 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 It can be the change. Shanti 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 Shanti.
And now your plastic-free minute, courtesy of KPFK 90.7 FM.
Okay, so you try to do the right thing. You recycle. You buy local and organic. You track your carbon footprint, but others around you, they don't make it easy. You walk into your favorite restaurant or supermarket and they're still foisting endless streams of single-use plastic bags, bottles, straws, and containers on you. Hi, I'm Paula Poundstone, and that's when I ask myself, has the world gone mad? Could you meet me halfway and not spew out so much fossil fuel-derived single-use pollution? Every day in the U.S., we throw out 88,000 tons of plastic, most of which never gets recycled but winds up in our landfills, oceans, or environment instead. Take matters into your own hands and carry a reusable container, bottle, straw, and bag wherever you go. It's not hard if you care about our future. This has been your Plastic Free Minute. Learn more at plasticpollutioncoalition.org.
Known for its pioneering musical interpretations of yogic mantras, White Sun's music emphasizes the healing vibrations of mantra through the clear, profound lead vocals of Guru Jha.
Hi, this is Guru Jas Khalsa inviting you to join us as we perform a very special live benefit concert for KPFK on Saturday, February 16th at Emmanuel Presbyterian Church in Los Angeles.
Grammy Award-winning White Sun.
You can also get VIP tickets, which include a special reception with me and the other members of White Sun. There will be exquisite vegan food, wine, special seating, and so much more. You can also reserve your tickets at kpfk.org. Come, enjoy, and experience White Sun.
You are listening to KPFK 90.7 FM Los Angeles, 98.7 Santa Barbara, 93.7 San Diego, 99.5 Ridgecrest, and online at kpfk.org. Your local station board election is happening. Visit elections.pacifica.org to find out about the candidates, members like you who want to help keep KPFK alive. Look for your ballots starting January 18th via email or postal mail. Vote as soon as you can. Ballots must be received by March 5th. Have questions about your eligibility, the voting process, or need a replacement ballot? Email the National Election Supervisor at nes@pacifica.org. Thank you.
It is crazy out here. Government shutdown, and there's no end in sight.
The number of Americans living below the poverty line has hit a high. There was another fatal
School, nightclub,
movie theater,
mall,
police shooting today. You are fake news. Big business in America is doing just fine. That's false. Get them the hell out of here, will you? Throw them out.
Does anybody tell the truth anymore?
90.7 FM
KPFK. The National Geographic documentary film, Free Solo, is a stunning, intimate, and unflinching portrait of the free soloist climber Alex Honnold as he prepares to achieve his lifelong dream, climbing the face of the world's most famous rock, the 3,000-foot El Capitan, without a rope. Free Solo is both an edge-of-your-seat thriller and an inspiring portrait of an athlete who exceeded our current understanding of human physical and mental potential. The result is a triumph of the human spirit. Free Solo screens at the Most Fabulous Art Theater in Long Beach, January 17th, 19th, and 20th. Visit their informative website for details at arttheaterlongbeach.org and call 818-985-2711 to request an available pair of complimentary tickets for a screening of your choice at the Art Theater if you're a film club member, or to join the KPFK Film Club and enjoy the fun.
Come on. Start, baby. Oh, I'm so late. Please don't do this to me. Yes. Come on. Yes. Come on. Oh. God. Son of a piece of... Ugh. I give up.
If that old junker in your driveway is a lost cause, you can always donate it to KPFK through our auto donation program. It's as simple as calling 877-KPFK-AUTO and asking the operator to assist you in arranging for a pickup. We'll tow it away and we'll mail you all the necessary paperwork for you to write it off of your taxes. Call us now at 877